Welcome to Gapology Radio with your hosts Mark Tinas and Brian Brokoff, authors of the leadership development books Gapology, IMBAR, and Speed of Purpose. At Gapology, our purpose is to help leaders achieve their greatest potential. To learn more about our groundbreaking books and training services, visit our website, gapology.org.
Hey everybody, welcome to Gapology Radio. If you're struggling with getting your team on the same page and working in the same direction, you may be struggling with connecting them to a common purpose. Our book, Speed of Purpose, speaks to the power of defining a clear and compelling purpose and then wrapping it around your people, performance, and processes of your organization. We lay out many tips on how to do that strategically through the use of behaviors that we call accelerators that can help to dramatically improve the speed and effectiveness in which your team operates. You can find Speed of Purpose on Amazon.com, and there's also a convenient link on our website, gapology.org. And as for tonight, we continue our discussion on why leaders matter by sharing our thoughts on the knowing, doing, being ladder, and how your efforts can help to set the stage for your team's connection with your purpose, objectives, and expectations at a much higher level. So let's go ahead and get the show rolling with Mark Tinas. Hey Mark, how you doing?
Good, Brian. How are you?
I am great. Somebody just told me today that I was great. I feel so good.
I would have to second that nomination.
That feels good when you hear that, you know?
I'm raising my hand.
Makes you feel all warm and fuzzy all over.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice to hear. And I'm also feeling really good. I'm feeling great about some of the feedback we've been receiving around this Leader Matters series. So it's interesting. It's a little different perspective that we're shining on some of our tools and methods that we have in Gapology. Looking at through the lens of how the leader matters in each of these different elements. And we have another good topic we'll talk about tonight here. But it just really made me stop and think, when we look back on the 14 years that we've been doing this, we've learned a lot. We've learned why the leader matters. We've learned how we impact leaders in multiple areas of the country, different industries, different levels in organizations. And one thing is clear is that the leader always matters.
The leader matters.
Yep. Absolutely.
And Gapology works everywhere. We figured that out too.
Right.
I remember back to the days when you and I thought it was all about retail.
Yeah.
Wow, this works like crazy in retail.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it was, it works in restaurants and hotels and construction. And it just went on and on and on and on.
Right.
It works everywhere.
Yeah. Banking, investment
academia.
Teams. Yeah. Academia. Yeah. Yeah, legal professions.
Raising your kids.
Yeah. Just don't use it with your spouse. We've already talked about that.
Yeah, that's off limits.
Yeah, right. But I'm excited. On that note, in a couple of weeks here, I'm flying out to San Diego to give a keynote to a real estate investment group. They could have 200, 300 people there, and this will be a pretty big deal. But these are people who are making real differences in communities, just like any other business, we all have gaps. So it'll be great to be able to meet with them and talk about Gapology.
Well, and what a critical industry in today's economy, making homes affordable for people and finding, options for people to, purchase real estate. It works.
Yeah, absolutely. And helping these teams, really grow and make an impact on their business, helping them to be successful and all of that as well.
Yeah. Thank you for going. Sorry, I won't be with you.
Yeah, no, that would have been really great if we could have been together again, like we were last month. We did that session. That was really cool. So in looking at this, I think there's an element here to examine under this microscope of the leader matters around the being ladder that we have in Gapology. This is one of our ladders that we have in Gapology that we talk about really the mindset and the engagement level of a team members, how they connect with their roles, responsibilities, expectations, those kinds of things.
Yeah, the leader at the being level changes everything. And we talk about knowing, doing, and being in Gapology. And picture that on a scale of 0 to 10 for a given initiative or purpose or whatever you're focused on. You literally could rate your entire team on a scale of 0 to 10, knowing, doing, and being. 0 to 3 being knowing, which means they can talk about it, they know about it, but that doesn't get it done. Doing is critical. They can literally execute the plan. That's doing. Picture that as 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the outlier group is the being level, which would be 8, 9, and 10. So again, if you were looking at your entire team on a scale of 0 to 10, you could categorize them in a competency, whatever it is you're focused on, from 0 to 10, knowing, doing, being. And what happens when the leader is being? And being would be identified as able to model the behavior, able to mentor, able to innovate, and really setting the example for the entire team. So when the leader is at the being level, the 8, 9, and 10 competency level of that thing, and again, think of it as your purpose as an example, everything changes. And if the leader is below that level, it diminishes the entire team. So as a leader, you need to look in the mirror, as we always say, look at yourself and ensure that you achieve the being level in the things that matter in your organization.
Yeah. And I think that last thing you said there is really critical, is defining what those things are that really matter. It's hard to be at a being level in everything. So figure out the things that matter most, figure out how to get there, set those expectations for yourself, learn what you need to learn, take a mentor, take somebody to be a coach that can help you get there. The leader does matter most. How can you expect your team to be at a being level if you're not there yourself?
Yeah, very true. And again, where you're at on the scale at a given moment in time doesn't have anything to do with where you'll end up. So people that are new to the organization often start at 0, on a scale of 0 to 10, but they may become the being level. So again, we identify the knowing level as 0, 1, 2, and 3. They have huge knowledge gaps, as you can relate to Gapology. The doing level is 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're able to do it. They don't lead it, though. They're able to do it. They're the doers. So they're critical, and high-level doing, that 6 and 7, really makes the organization work. So pat them on the back. That is a big deal, and they get the job done every day. But the being level changes everything. So the being level, which would be 8, 9, and 10, again, they model for the team. They mentor and can mentor the rest of the team. They innovate within whatever that competency is that you're measuring, and they're game changers. And again, when the leaders fall into that group, and they need to, the whole team then is elevated. That knowing level moves up, the doing level moves up, the being level moves up. It changes everything. So when the leader is at the being level of engagement within this competency that is, key to your industry, key to your organization, everything changes. We like to look at it in the context of purpose, executing, delivering, fully bringing to life the purpose, but it will apply to whatever you do. So understand the knowing, doing, and being level, again, detailed in Gapology. Our point tonight is that the leader needs to be being, because the leader matters. And when the leader is being, everything changes.
Yeah, I like to look at it through the lens that, this is somebody who really lives it. They believe in it. They're really connected to it, whatever that is. Figuring out what those elements are that you're building your highest expectations around, that delivers your purpose, certainly. And I think the connection to it is what's critical. And I thought you did a great job explaining the knowing and the doing piece, through the lens of a new employee. So they come in, they're being taught, they're trained and so forth, and they know it, and then they're practicing it and they're doing it. But it's that being that's that whole nother level that then becomes an example for others. When you're looking at your top performers, many of them are going to be living at that level. So, look to them as some of the examples of where you need to bring the team to.
Yeah. And if you look at it through the lens of purpose,
mm-hmm.
So if you were to chart your whole team out from 0 to 10 on execution and living of the purpose, the leader needs to be in that 8, 9, and 10 range, because the whole team sees that, and that brings the purpose to life. And the new people aren't going to be there yet. That's okay. They may be the 8, 9s, and 10s of the future. You have to help them get there. And when the leader is already there, everything changes. Everything changes. You can elevate the entire group. So picture being as, in relation to if it was purpose that you were measuring, exemplifying the purpose. That leader at the being level, exemplifying the purpose, changes everything about the organization, changes the direction of the organization, changes the execution levels, changes the engagement of the team. It's hard to overcome a leader who's already in the being level, because they're all about it. It's what they do. And it moves the entire team up that ladder of 0 to 10, knowing, doing, being.
Yeah. So Mark, if you had a leader, maybe a mid-level leader on your team that wasn't at the being level around something that really mattered, how would you go after that?
I would spend some time with them. I would role model. I would observe their behavior, but then have them observe my behavior. And I would challenge them to the next level. And some people are up for that, some are not. But if you find someone that really wants to grow with the organization, achieving the being level changes their value to the organization, changes everything. And spending time and being clear on what you expect and helping them really understand the clarity of the purpose and how important it is can really impact them. So if they're up for the challenge, that will work. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. As you're saying that, I was really picturing, so if I was the senior leader in a company and I had, team members that were at varying levels on this ladder, but I had somebody that impacted, a good sized group on the team, I'd really want to make sure that those people are really at that being level if they're leading others around critical initiatives. So I like what you said there. So spending time with them and observing and really modeling the behaviors that are expected. I think that is critical. Just talking the talk doesn't always work. You do have to walk the walk so people see an example of what the expectations are.
Yeah, we've seen organizations where the purpose isn't clear to the team. And when the purpose isn't clear to the team, none of this really matters because there isn't a purpose. But when the purpose is clear and compelling, everything changes. So picture again a clear and compelling purpose that people want to be part of. And then you wrap, we like that term, we wrap every role in the purpose. And what that means is we define for a given role what purpose looks like for their role. How do they deliver the purpose? How is it measured? What are the behaviors? When all of that comes together, it moves the entire organization forward, and it changes the results because it changed the behaviors. And so when you wrap a role in purpose, not only have you defined again the behaviors, but you've defined the measures, the expectations, the metrics, let's say, of that given role as it relates to the purpose. When that all comes together, the purpose can really come to life. And again, the leader that really leads that and lives that can be a game changer. The leader matters. And when the leader is being level in the purpose, everything changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like what you said there. The interesting thing around purpose, and I do get questions around, specifically the expectations. So how do you know what to set expectations on for your team? How do you know what the top things are, the most important things are? And starting with purpose and really building that into your business, wrapping it into each role allows you then to say, all right, so here are the expectations I have for you around these elements that will deliver our purpose. It gives you that power where if you don't do that initial legwork up front, it's hard to really define the expectations that will deliver that purpose.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Yeah.
The other part of that is that the leader needs to have a rhythm. So just picture it as a weekly rhythm. What they do during the week needs to be predictable. When that rhythm equals the purpose, delivers the purpose, exemplifies the purpose, everything changes. So when the week is predictable versus chaos, everything changes. So the leadership rhythm, and many of you have not gotten here yet, leadership rhythm matters. What you do Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, matters. It communicates to the team what matters. So you need to structure your week, your month, your quarter, however your business is measured, to equal the execution of the purpose. And we've really gotten good at this. We've done this industry by industry by industry, and we've figured out how to make it work. So we do know, if you need help, just let us know. Gapology.org, you can communicate with us on there directly. We know what this looks like, and we know that it works. And your rhythm communicates to the team what matters. If you don't have a rhythm, that's chaos, and that communicates to the team chaos. If you have a rhythm around the purpose, again, you can change the behavior of the entire team. You can change the results. You can make the results what you're looking for. And don't underestimate leadership rhythm as part of being leader.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah, totally. Without that leadership rhythm, that chaos that you're talking about, that disrupts any efforts that you're working toward around those important expectations. I think the thing that leadership rhythm does also, it really simplifies things. So, it's important that as you cascade down through the organization, people understand these things, right? They understand the purpose, they understand the expectations. They have to be able to understand them, believe in them, be connected to them. And a leadership rhythm helps you do that. Really simplifying it is really, I think, a key element there.
Yeah, and make sure that you're measuring performance, that you're reporting those measures out, that you're ranking those measures so that we're clear on who's performing and who's not, so that we can communicate and understand the behavioral difference between the two. Make sure then that you are celebrating the top performance as part of your rhythm, as part of making the team very clear on what matters and what execution of the purpose looks like. Total game changing. We have encountered organizations that do not measure performance by individual, by purpose. There is no purpose when it's not measured. Mm-hmm. And when we change that behavior and begin measuring, begin understanding what behaviors equal the metrics that we're looking for, who are the top performers, who are the bottom performers, we can actually bring the bottom up to the middle very quickly. It changes everything. So you have to be very clear on the metrics that equal your purpose. You have to publish them, rank them, and make that part of your rhythm. When your team knows that, it affects their behavior for the entire week or month, whatever time frame you want to look at. It changes everything. Mm-hmm. When their name is going to be published with a number next to it, it likely changes everything for that individual. So understand that and bring it to life.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody living at the being level, if they're at that being level, they want to know where they stand. They want to know what what the results are. Yeah. So
they build their whole week around it.
Yeah, totally.
They build their day around it. They build, their hour around it. Mm-hmm. Performance matters.
Right.
And the leadership rhythm just brings that to life.
Yeah.
If the leader acts like results don't matter, results don't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are a leader that isn't caring about the results, really question if you are at the being level. And so one other element I want to talk about here is you can measure this stuff based on projects, initiatives, but do it around the things that are the most important. You can certainly look at kind of holistically where somebody falls on the being ladder, but I think a lot of power comes from breaking it down around the key expectations that really deliver the purpose.
Yeah, I love that. The bottom line for me is that being level leaders create being level leaders. They create them. And that's when everything changes.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're the greatest performer on your team, you got a problem. What if you could create 10 of yourself over the next few months? Think how the results would change. It would be much better if you could bring others along and the whole team moved up. So being level leaders, you at the being level brings others along.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it is so true. If you are the best and you don't bring people along, it is very limiting for your organization. Absolutely.
We need a bunch of other people that are as good or better than you. Mm-hmm. So you need to be at the being level and bring them along. Yeah. One of the expectations we used to have, Brian, in a prior life was that every leader had to have their replacement on board and trained and ready to go. So think about that for a minute. Mm-hmm. If there's someone on the team who can replace you, what if you had 5 of them? What would results look like? What if you had 10? Think how everything would change. So when you as a leader at the being level, you're focused on that. You want as many people in that being level as you can fit, and everything changes. So replace yourself many times over and results go through the ceiling. In fact, we know that, don't we, Brian?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what a massive impact you can have on the organization as a whole.
That's it.
That's it. All right, cool. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it there, Mark. Any last thoughts there?
Being level leaders need to create being level leaders, and the game changes. The results change. Everything changes.
Love it. I think there's a T-shirt in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that one.
Okay. Well, I think that's good, Mark. So thank you so much. Great job.
Thanks, Brian. Well done.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that'll do it from here. For more information on Gapology or Speed of Purpose, head on over to our website, gapology.org. Everyone have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.
This has been a Gapology Institute production. Visit us at gapology.org.